Today, we are going to explore the beautiful poem Mowing by Robert Frost. In this video, we will understand the poem in a simple and clear way, easy paraphrasing of the poem, poetic devices used in the poem. After that, we will cover some important questions and answers that are helpful for exams. So, let's begin our journey into the quiet and thoughtful world of Important things about Robert Frost. Robert Frost was a famous American poet, born in 1874 in California. He is known for his simple yet powerful poetry that beautifully describes nature and everyday life. Robert Frost won 4 Pulitzer Prizes for his outstanding contribution to literature. Some of his most famous poems include The Road Not Taken, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, and Mending Wall. His poetry often explores deep ideas through simple language, making it easy to understand but meaningful at the same time. Robert Frost remains one of the most loved and widely studied poets in the world.
There was never a sound beside the wood but one, and that was my long scythe whispering to the ground. What was it whispered? I knew not well myself. Perhaps it was something about the heat of the sun, something, perhaps, about the lack of sound. And that was why it whispered and did not speak. It was no dream of the gift of idle hours, or easy gold at the hand of fay or elf. Anything more than the truth would have seemed too weak to the earnest love that laid the swale in rows, not without feeble-pointed spikes of flowers, pale orchises, and scared a bright green snake. The fact is the sweetest dream that labor knows. My long scythe whispered and left the hay to make.
Let's look at some important facts about the poem, Mowing. First, the rhyme scheme. The poem follows the pattern of BC, a BD, ECD, FEG, FG. It uses natural and conversational language, so the rhymes feel smooth and not forced. Next, the form. This poem is a sonnet, which means it has 14 lines, but it is an irregular sonnet. It is written in iambic pentameter, where each line has 10 syllables and follows a soft rhythm of unstressed and stressed beats, repeated 5 times. Finally, the genre. This is a lyric poem, expressing the personal thoughts and feelings of the speaker. It also includes elements of pastoral poetry, focusing on nature, rural life, and simple work like farming. In these opening lines of Mowing by Robert Frost, the poet describes a quiet and peaceful scene. Lines are as follows. There was never a sound beside the wood but one, and that was my long scythe whispering to the ground. What was it whispered? I knew not well myself. Perhaps it was something about the heat of the sun, and here is his paraphrased. There was only one sound near the tree. It was my long scythe making a soft noise on the ground. I didn't know myself what the scythe was saying to the ground. Maybe it was talking or complaining about the hot weather. Now, let's look at the poetic devices used in the poem. First is alliteration. In line 1, the poet has used alliteration with the repetition of the W sound in, was, would. Next is personification. In line 2, the scythe is given a human-like quality in, whispering. Next is imagery. In line 2, long scythe whispering to the ground creates a vivid auditory image. Next is rhetorical question. In line 3, the poet asks a question. What was it whispered? Without expecting an answer. Finally, imagery. In line 4, heat of the sun creates a sensory image of warmth. Now, let's move to part 2, lines 5 to 8, description of the whisper and imagination. Something, perhaps, about the lack of sound, and that was why it whispered and did not speak. It was no dream of the gift of idle hours, or easy gold at the hand of fay or elf. Paraphrase, the scythe maybe was talking about the silence. Therefore, it talked out loud, rather just whispered. The scythe wasn't talking about having fun in free time, or finding some treasure blessed by fairies or elves. Now, let's see the poetic devices used. So the first is imagery. In line 5, lack of sound creates a sense of silence and stillness. Next is alliteration. In line 6, there is repetition of the W sound in, Y, whispered, and the next is symbolism. In line 7, idle hours means time that is or not used productively. Finally, allusion. In line 4, fay or elf refers to mythical creatures from folklore. Now, let's move to part 3, lines 9 to 12, truth versus imagination. The lines are, anything more than the truth would have seemed too weak to the earnest love that laid the swale in rows, not without feeble-pointed spikes of flowers, pale orchises, and scared a bright green snake. It can be paraphrased as, It knew that anything in the truth would be too weak. The real reward comes from the hard work of cutting the grass. There were small, weak flowers growing in the grass, and it scared a bright green snake. The truth is, hard work is the best reward you can have. My scythe whispered again, leaving the grass ready to be made into hay. Let's see the poetic devices used. So the first is contrast. In line 9, the contrast between truth and too weak emphasizes the power of truth. Next is personification. In line 10, love is given a human-like action in laid the swale in rows. Next is imagery. In line 10, laid the swale in rows creates a visual image of farming. Next is alliteration. In line 11, there is repetition of the F sound in feeble flowers. Finally, contrast. In line 12, the contrast between pale and bright green highlights color differences. Now, let's move to part 4, lines 13 to 14, conclusion and message about honest work. The lines are, the fact is the sweetest dream that labor knows. My long scythe whispered and left the hay to make it can be paraphrased. The truth is, hard work is the best reward you can have. My scythe whispered again, leaving the grass ready to be made hay. Now, the poetic devices. Here are the poetic devices used in last 2 lines. The first is metaphor. In line 13, fact is the sweetest dream, compares reality to a dream without using like, or, as. Next is personification. In line 13, labor knows, gives a human-like quality to labor. Next is imagery. In line 14, lay to make, creates a visual image of farming activity. Finally, alliteration. In line 14, there is repetition of the L sound in long, left. Now let's look at the summary of the poem Mowing. So the reference is, the poem Mowing is written by Robert Frost, a famous American poet, in 1913. The poem can be summarized as, this poem describes a man mowing grass in a quiet field. As he works, he hears the soft whispering sound of the scythe. He wonders what the sound is trying to say. He realizes that the whisper is not about dreams or imagination, but about the value of honest, hard work. The act of mowing becomes meaningful, and the reward is in the effort itself. The poem shows that true satisfaction comes from simple, real tasks rather than from idle thoughts. It highlights the beauty of nature, the importance of labor, and the peace found in doing one's work sincerely. Now, let's move to the comprehension questions and answers. Question 1 is, who is whispering to the ground? The answer is, the poet's long scythe is described as whispering to the ground. Question 2 is, what was whispered according to the poet? The answer is, the poet suggests that the scythe whispered something about the heat of the sun and the surrounding silence. However, the poet himself is uncertain of exactly what was whispered, possibly because it was more of a feeling, or an impression rather than words. Let's move to question 3, which is, enlist poetic devices used in the poem. The answer is, personification. The scythe is personified as whispering to the ground. Alliteration, repetition of consonant sounds, such as in, feeble-pointed spikes, and, scared a bright green snake. Imagery, vivid descriptions like, orchises, and, bright green snake, create mental images. Metaphor, the whispering scythe is a metaphor for the quiet, meditative act of working. Symbolism, the scythe represents labor, while the whispering reflects the peace and connection to nature and work. Question 4 is, according to the poet, what is the sweetest dream that labor knows? The answer is, the poet claims that, the fact is the sweetest dream that labor knows. This means that the satisfaction of doing meaningful, honest work is the most rewarding and fulfilling experience, surpassing any idle fantasies or dreams. Question 5 is, what is the central idea of the poem? The answer is, the central idea of the poem is the value and satisfaction of hard work. The poem reflects on the simplicity and depth of manual labor, the quiet connection to nature it brings, and the contentment found in the tangible results of that effort. And the last question is question number 6, which is, what is the form and tone of the poem? The answer is, form. The poem is written in free verse, with no consistent rhyme scheme or meter. Tone. The tone is calm, contemplative, and somewhat philosophical, focusing on the quietness of labor and the peace that comes with it. I hope you found this video helpful and easy to understand. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like the video, share it with your classmates, subscribe to my channel for more educational content. See you in the next lesson.